So several decades pass, and in our infinite wisdom, we decide to wipe out this species. If you think you'd love to speak to marine animals like dolphins or whales, or if you think you never back down from a fight and you're pretty brave, then you might be a child of the side. What God made right now? Poseidon himself. Poseidon is the god of never back down.
Let's bring out David Giantoli and Bitsy Tulik. You know them as Nick Bernhardt and Juliet and Eve. Let's go! Oh, you guys. What is one sentence you would use to pitch the show?
A supernatural cop drama where the lead detective has a unique ability to see monsters where nobody else can.
The core of Back to the Future is that it's not a time travel movie. It's a movie about a family. And everybody can identify with the relationship that a kid has with his parents, that parents have with each other, that friends have with each other, and Marty and Doc. And that's the core. That's why it's not a time travel movie about history, which is why so many time travel movies don't work, right? Because you have to know history. We tell you all the history you need to know in Back to the Future, because it's the history of this family.
You asking me?
I'm asking everybody. Who's willing to go first?
I'll go first. I was a slacker. I was gonna say.
I flunked. No questions asked.
You know what? I think I was a pretty decent student. I was very shy, so school was a little tricky for me.
What do I say? And Don Cherry looks at me. Exactly like that. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be over there. Oh, yeah, thanks. No help there. And as I walked back, that goddess of drama whispered in my ear the words. And the words came to me, and there I was. I played the rest of the scene, and the curtain came, well, the lights went down, and that was the end of it. I had done a play in front of 2,500 people and critics who were very kind the next day. I have no memory. It was like being in battle. I have no memory of any of those things except people told me I did.
You know what? I think that, I mean, this is my first thought, is I would used to watch like the USA beauty pageants and stuff like that, and I go, oh, I want to be one of them. And then I never was. I would do photo shoots to get pictures for commercials and stuff like that.
It's still hiccup. It's still hiccup. I think one of the craziest moments was, of course, getting the job. It still did not feel real until this one moment. There was this little kid, he came up to me and he just, we were on the press tour and they had like the mannequins with like my costume on there, like the axe, and I walk up to it. I just pick up the axe, so this is mine. Like I think maybe I can do it. So I start picking it up and there's a lady and she's like, oh, I don't know if you're allowed to do that. I was like, it's okay, it's me. And then her little kid walks up, and then she's just like, he's just like, I think the mom was like, oh yeah, he's in the movie, he's Hiccup. And the kid was like, and then he was like, can you say a line from the movie? And I was like, what do you want me to say? And he was like, this is Burke. I was like, this is Burke. And then he just, his eyes like lit, his like, mouth dropped, and he just goes, Hiccup! And that to me was one of the most special moments, and were really hit me because, you know, I grew up on those movies.
When we did the first movie, we didn't think there would ever be a sequel. And people said, well, what about that ending? Well, that's a very satisfying ending to have your main characters, you know, jump on their horses, so to speak, and ride off for another adventure. And as Bob Zemeckis said many times, if I knew we were going to do a sequel, I would have never had Jennifer get in the car, because when we finally got around to saying, okay, well, we're going to do a sequel, and we said, what the hell are we going to do with Jennifer? And you know, you've seen it. She's unconscious for most of it.
I'd never seen anything like it, and our movie was very physical. It's westerns are dusty, and horses and trains. All those things are not easy, you know. But you're asking me about how I came to be in it, and Bob probably knows more than I do about it, but I just know it was offered to me, and I of course had only seen the first one, but I had loved it so much, and I was honored to work with these guys, and I said yes right away.
Yeah, listen, if anyone, because obviously we'll ask questions, although I know it's called Tales of the TARDIS, I ain't got no Tales of the TARDIS. I don't really know much about Doctor Who, okay? Full disclosure, it was my honour to be on it. Doesn't mean I understood it, alright? Does not mean that at all. So, I mean, you're very welcome to ask your questions, and I will answer them in as interesting a way as I can, but it won't make sense.
But me and my brother knew every line. It was the first movie I went to see my Uncle Dennis in. That's right. In the cinema. Like, I was a fan. Like, it meant, you know, I'm 54, and so I was born in 71, and when it came out, I was 5 or 6. So I was perfect for it. I mean, it was made for me. Absolutely. My brother, right?
And as an actor, a lot of people want to be in it. So I had seen shows, friends were on as guest leads and whatnot. My brother-in-law and his kids, particularly my brother-in-law, was a big fan of the show. And way before I got like Doctor Who, he was like, if you ever get an episode of Doctor Who, I have to be security on that day.
Like as a walk-on.
It was like, I just need to come to work with you that day. And then years later, I ended up getting the companion.
Back home in Nigeria, I'm a dual citizen. I'm Nigerian and I'm also British. So back home in Nigeria, you know, acting is seen kind of differently, especially in their day. There wasn't a robust industry to reference. There wasn't loads of money flowing through and fans that exalted these roles and stuff. So it was really just like a weird choice, especially to commit your life to it.
It was me that thought, I don't know whether she can do this, because she's a very placid dog. She's not the type of dog that will jump up at people, lick them. She's quite calm and reserved. So I was like, and that was literally what she had to do in the movie, was jump up at Ryan Reynolds, lick him. So I was like, I don't know if you're going to be able to get to do it.
He was a laborer. He worked with his hands. He would come home at night and watching him watch movies and watch all of the tension melt away from him and all this emotion on his face was, he was my biggest influence of anything that ever happened to me in this life in terms of what my values are, how I think about manhood, how I think about legacy, how I think about everything. So if you read that book, you'll get a real insight into what he meant to me.
So let's bring out Tom Welling, Brandon Routh, Tyler Hoffman, and George Newber. You know them as Superman and Clark Kent. Let's go! They filled the house today, baby. Gentlemen, take a seat. And George, you did a film called Sons of Mistletoe out here.
Did Sons of Mistletoe here and Switching Channels.
That sounds like a fun
Adventures in
film.
Babysitting we shot here, half of it. So lots of fun.
I actually shot Cheaper by the Dozen 2 here.
I love it.
I love Toronto.
So talk to me about some of your
Scott
favorite...
Pilgrim versus the World. Toronto's a character in the movie, basically.
Yes, Toronto is. Yeah, Toronto's a huge character in the movie.
But it was really a different and wonderful experience to revisit the character 15 years later. I definitely felt more capable of playing Superman and standing in all of who he is and who I continue to create him in my head and to be. And I had a lot more appreciation for the fact that I was able to do this. The second time was almost more of an achievement than the first time.